Hey, Forest Mulcher is back again, and may not be the last time. I'm Justin Hitt from Prosperity Homestead. We're going to clear out a section to put in some livestock areas, and we want that woody, mulchy shred on the ground instead of taking away the trees. And as you might know from previous videos, I did try to cut down some trees and strip the poles for poles, but we're running up on time. I've got power coming on site. I got some livestock receiving areas coming in. Livestock as in small goats, maybe some pigs, maybe some ducks, maybe a few chickens. But essentially, I could wait a few more months to cut down the trees individually, like I've done with some of these clearings here and there. But I could also just have this done for a day. So this Caterpillar tractor 299 D3 XE with a forest mulching head on it is going to take care of those trees within a day, clear up a nice area for the animals to start coming in, and then also give us a little more room to move around. So far, the projects are progressing. We've got storage leveled and ready to go. We can start bringing in feed and stuff like that. Now, when you're starting your homestead, there are going to be times you want to do things a certain way. But again, you might need to invest in the time of someone else to start getting things done, especially when it comes to the design plan. Your design plan is critical. And so as long as I'm staying on my design plan, sometimes I'll take a little shortcut here and there by having a forestry mulcher come in and take care of some things. So the forestry mulcher can come in and clear out a nice big area, thin it out really good, get it ready day one to drive. Now, when are some other times I might bring a forestry mulcher back out? Well, when power comes in, they may forestry mulch through here and then back up the trails again. When fencing comes in, we may forestry mulch along the property line in order to clear up space for the fencing. Forestry mulching is an alternative way to take down a lot of trees quickly, but they won't take down big trees. So we'll leave behind these nice trees like this, preferably the oaks. And as far as pines are concerned, it'll shred right through the pines and it will make short order of pine and underbrush. Now, of course, the natural option is to have goats come through and take care of the underbrush and then come through with a chainsaw and cut wood for firewood and go through those cycles, but that could take years. When getting your farm up and running, sometimes you need to trade money for progress. And in this case, the forestry mulcher comes in, prices are getting very high, but the forestry mulcher comes in, clears out an area, gets us ready to go. Now, what are we going to put in there again? Because we're using portable electric fencing, we need to have training areas for the goats and for future pigs. Because we're using portable fencing, we need a hard pin to put the animals in at night or when they're in quarantine or when they're otherwise not in the outside fencing. We also need space to actually do compost piles, to bring in hay, to do other things that may support the activities of the animals. And then any space that's open will either have a small cabin on it, or it'll have our temporary housing set up, or have our camp cook area. Because again, we're going to go through a nomadic caretaking aspect. So I'm going to be moving between several farms, and I'll be moving between upon this space. So again, we're going to demonstrate to you some holistic and regenerative methods, but appropriate equipment is okay. And I'm not just saying that because I'm using appropriate equipment. This machine will do the work of several people, and I only need to do the work once. And in fact, I'm going to real quick walk you over while we're talking about it. I'll walk you over to the trails that it did 2 years ago, I think it was. And so we have a little bit of underbrush growing under here, and you can see how these trails have stayed open and accessible, and they have provided us access to the land. Now, beyond there was clear cut. So there was a forestry company, a different forestry company, who clear cut that land over there, and that's recovering, I think, on its second year. Fortunately, a lot of oaks. But you can see where the forestry mulcher came through here along the property line and really opened things up. So we can access the woods, we can move around the property. The space is much more useful. So we could have cut every tree down, which is not desirable, or we could just cut only the trees necessary to get access to the land, to clarify the property lines, to plan for fencing, to prepare for animals, leaving behind these nice bigger trees. Now, they're going to get a little side branching on them and stuff now that they've got light, but these nice bigger trees can come out in 20 years or so. Now, what was the foundation to choose forestry mulching versus just coming in here by hand? Well, the foundation is having a forester out on site early in the development to work on our forestry plan or our land management plan, and then having, of course, a permaculture design plan. So now we have nooks in the woods. We were able to find all the fencing. The reason he didn't come all the way through here, I hand cleared that, is because there's the old fencing, and we want to make sure we don't get anything caught up in that. And then ultimately, the reason we didn't clear the whole property is because there was no timber value in the property. The majority of the property is scrub. So we forest mulched it to clear it quickly. We widened the paths by hand, and now we're going to finish that little area in the center to give us some livestock areas where we can have the animals come in to cattle panel fencing. We'll show you how that gets put together. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead, where we're going to help you get out on your homestead. We're going to help you be food secure, physically secure, and ultimately have more control over your quality of food so that you can have some insulation against inflation and much, much more. Anyway, visit www.prosperityhomestead.org with your questions. I'd love to hear from you. And again, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead.